Hi guys, it's me Ada. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. If you're an old timer, well, thank you very much for coming back, and if you're new here, please keep on watching. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how I made a tiered dress. Now on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, I've been seeing various variations of it. I will see a skirt, tiered skirt, sometimes I'll see dresses. So I decided to make my own take on it because I think this outfit is really cute and it can fit almost anybody. So without further ado, I'm just going to go into the tutorial. And please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, and don't forget to also comment, like and share this video. And if you also have requests of projects you'd like me to work on, please do comment and I'll try my best to do something about it. So until next time guys, remain blessed and thank you very much for watching. Bye. Alright guys, for the front of my princess sim bodice, I am going to mark 1 inch downwards on the fabric that I have cut out already. Then I am going to mark my shoulder to bust measurement, then my shoulder to waist measurement, and then my shoulder to upper bust measurement. Oh, and I also marked my shoulder to hip measurement, or that's the full length of the bodice. Then I marked my shoulder to upper bust measurement. So after that, I went ahead to use a ruler to make the lines, make the points more visible, so that when I want to plot other measurements, it can be more visible and easy to plot. So after that, after drawing my lines, I also went ahead to mark my 1 inch seam allowance, and I also drew a straight line for that. Then after that, I went ahead to mark my shoulder. Of course, my shoulder measurement is 8 inches, so I marked that 8-inch point. Then I use my ruler to draw a straight line from the shoulder down to the bust, to the upper bust line. Then after making the shoulder measurement, the next thing is to plot your dart measurement. So for your dart, on the full bust line, you mark 4 inches, 4 inches on the full bust line, and then you do the same on the under bust, the waistline, and the under bust, and all the other lines. Just mark the 4 inches. Then you mark 2 inches also from that 4-inch point on the under bust line and on the waistline, and also on the seam allowance. Then use your ruler to join the lines, the points, like you can see in the video. You join the points with your ruler. So after I joined the points with my ruler, the next thing I did was so after plotting my dart, the next thing I did was to plot my full bust circumference on the bust line, on the full bust line. So my full bust circumference is about 10 inches. Then I added half an inch, and then that's 10.5. Then I also added 1 inch for seam allowance, so that became 11.5. So after marking out the full bust measurement, I decided to extend the line so that to be more visible. Then after that, I also decided to mark my okay, so I decided to mark my under bust circumference as well. Then I added 2 inches to that measurement for the dart, because we're going to remove fabric from the middle where we cut out the dart. And then I also added 1 inch for seam allowance. Then I just went in to make my lines more visible. Then after marking my under bust measurement, I repeated the same process for the waistline and the seam allowance line. Basically, I repeated the same process and I used the same measurements because my stomach is basically like that right now. So after that, I went ahead to mark 3 inches upwards from my bust line to my shoulder line. And then when I marked that 3 inch, I went ahead to mark half an inch on both sides of that 3 inch point that I marked. Then after that, I just decided to use freehand, but you should use a curve, or if you want you can use freehand. I think I use the curve later. So use a curve to just join that 3 inch point to the dart, or to the top of the dart point that we made earlier, and this is to indicate the curve of the bust. So I went ahead and I smoothed that curve with my French curve, as you can see in the video. So after making the curve more pronounced, I also used a ruler to I extended that 3 inch point to the right. I extended it by 1 inch. Okay, so after you extend that 3 inch point to the right by 1 inch, then I'm just going to use a ruler to join that 1 inch point to the 3 inch point, and then I will also use that ruler to join the new 1 inch point to the half an inch point that I made earlier, and also join the second half-inch point to the curve of the bust. Now this is my armhole dart that I'm trying to create by drawing all these angles that I'm drawing here. But yeah, that is the armhole dart. So after that, I went ahead again to just measure my full bust measurement again on the upper bust part. I actually made a mistake here because this measurement was supposed to be taken on the full bust line and not the upper bust line. I discovered when I was joining my clothes, and then I had to redo the armpit, my armhole, to make it equal. So if you are using this, you can just ignore putting the upper bust measurement totally and just use only the full bust measurement. So that means when you are joining, when you are making the full bust point, you will be making it on the actual full bust line, and then you join from that end of the 1 inch point you made from the 3 inch mark to the end of the full bust measurement. I don't know if anybody understands or I'm rambling. So anyways, then I went ahead to do my neck. So for my neck width is 5 inches and my neck depth was 3 inches. So I marked that and then use my curve to make it more visible. Then after I have marked my neck, I just went down. I just went down 1 inch from, because you know I left 1 inch earlier. So from the beginning of my shoulder line, I just went down 1 inch, and then I used the ruler to join the end of my neck width to the shoulder line. Now that is my shoulder slope, because of course the shoulder is slopey, so that's why I had to join it. Then okay, so I drew a straight line to join the line I already started earlier. That is where to join where my waist measurement plus that measurement ended. Then for my dart, to make the breast curve more curve like and less pointy, I marked 0.5 centimeters downward from the point where the dart started, and then to the point where I added 2 centimeter on the waistline, I marked about 1 cm, and then just use my finger to draw like a curve, a smooth curve, and smoothing it out to prevent having pointy breasts. So then after that, I just went ahead to cut out all the parts of the front bodice. Woo. That was some hard work, but yeah, this is how I made the front bodice for the dress I am wearing. And yeah, so I'll be making other videos, of course, to show you how to make more princess sim bodices, if that's a word. But for now, this is the one I use for this dress, for the dress in the video. So I hope this is going to be helpful in some way. All right, then let's get to the back. So for the back of the bodice, we're just going to first of all mark our zip allowance. Now I did not cut this part on a fold, so for the zip allowance I'm just going to leave 2 inches each on the right hand side of the fabric. And then after marking out the 2 inches, I just use a ruler to make sure it's very clear. Then after I have marked out the zip allowance, then I went ahead to plot my other measurements. Actually, the back pattern is easier, it's much easier than the front pattern. So the first thing I did was also to leave the 1 inch seam allowance that I left like in the first part of the video for the front bodies. So after leaving the 1 inch seam allowance, the next thing I did was to also measure my full bust line, my shoulder to under bust line, sorry, and then my shoulder to waist, or like full length measurement, any of it. And that full length measurement is already plus the seam allowance, because plus seam allowance is 17 inches already. Then I use the ruler, of course, to make my lines more visible so that you guys can see clearly what's going on in this video. So then after making after drawing the lines, the next thing I did was to measure the full bust circumference on the full bust line. So as you can see in this video, I did not add the upper bust measurement, and this is the mistake I was talking about in the beginning for the front of the sleeve, because I added upper bust measurement, and then when I drew my shoulder slope it was different. So if you can do the front like this without adding the upper bust measurement, is better for you. So when I measured my full bust measurement, right, I added 1 inch for seam allowance. Then I also now went ahead to measure my under bust measurement, and then also added 3/4 of an inch, and then seam allowance, that is on the under bust measurement. You add 3/4 of an inch, that's because of the dart, then you add seam allowance. Then for the waist circumference, you add your waist measurement, of course, that's the waist circumference, then plus 1 inch for the dart, then seam allowance. Then after that, I just marked 4 inches on the bust line, and also on the under bust line, and also on the waistline, that is for the dart. But on the upper bust line, or on the full bust line, sorry, I drew a line of 1 inch downwards from that 4-inch point I made, and then that is where you are going to connect your dart for the back too. So then on the under bust measurement, I also made 1/2 inch measurements at the side of the 4-inch measurement that I made for the dart, and then I just simply connected those two measurements together to the top of the dart, the first point I made, and also connected it downwards. Then after that, I went ahead to mark my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 8 inches, so I just measured 8 inches, and then drew a straight line downwards to my bust. Then from my bust, I marked 3 inches upwards. Then after marking the 3 inches upwards, I also marked 1/2 an inch to my left. Now I mark this 1/2 inch to join my shoulder point to my armhole point. And of course, the armhole we are joining from where the full bust point was measured, the full bust measurement, from the full bust measurement to that 3-inch point that was made on the shoulder line, then to the 1/2 an inch point. So after that, the next thing we are going to do is to mark our neck hole. Now my neck hole is still 5 inches in width, but the depth is 2 inches, because this is for the back neckline, and the back is usually higher than the front most times. So I use my French curve to just join the neck curve, and then I also join the seam allowance that I made, and also join all the other points that I made. So after that, that is basically it for the back bodice. You just use your scissors and cut out, and please do not cut your zip allowance, because I forgot I started cutting mine, but then I had to mend it. So just cut off from the seam allowance part, and then the rest of the fabric. So yeah, that's it on how to make your back princess seam bodice. Thank you so much for being patient, because I know the video is long, and for watching this video. I am going to also post another video, so please watch the part 2 of this video to see how I will cut out these bodies and how I will join it to the skirt part that I am making, and then how I'll make the full dress. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and then till then, remain blessed. Bye.